नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है प्रखर और आप देख रहे हैं वाइब्स ऑफ इंडिया का खास कार्यक्रम वॉइस संवाद। दोस्तों, वॉइस संवाद में आज के जो हमारे मेहमान हैं, अब क्या कहूँ, ये जानी जाती हैं अपनी स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी के लिए। और ऐसा कई बार हुआ होगा जब इनके ट्वीट्स के और इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट के स्क्रीनशॉट आप तक पहुँचे होंगे। और मैं आपका तारुफ करवाता हूँ काजल श्रीनिवासन ए लॉल रक्षक। स्वागत है इस कार्यक्रम में। और हम आगे आपसे कन्वर्सेशन करें उसके पहले वी वांट टू नो द स्टोरी बिहाइंड योर यूजर नेम। व्हाई लॉल रक्षक?
Alright, a little controversial, but I will go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So I started comedy 5 years back, and that was the time when Gau Rakshaks were emerging. So I thought, let me be the counter to yes.
Okay.
So it was Lol Rakshak.
लोल रक्षक, cool. बहुत बढ़िया, इंटरेस्टिंग। इंजीनियरिंग, फिर ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग और वेब डिजाइनिंग और फिर स्टैंड अप। तो ये सफ़र कैसे स्टैंड अप तक का, मतलब ऐसे इंजीनियरिंग आपने आपकी पढ़ाई की, उसके बाद ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग और वेब डिजाइनिंग पर आपने अच्छी जॉब, आप अभी भी ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग करते ही हैं, बिल्कुल डिजाइनर हैं। तो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी और आपका रिलेशन, मतलब ये शुरुआत कहाँ है?
Okay. So my father was in advertising. He was a writer, and I've always written since childhood. I've loved writing, but then it became time to choose a career, and my parents were quite keen I do engineering, so I did engineering. I actually love programming and web designing, but I ran my own company, and now I'm kind of like financially stable. So I thought, why not give stand-up a try? The truth is, I met someone on OkCupid 5 years back who was a stand-up comic, and he got me my first stand-up comedy gig. He just insisted that I go. So that's how it started. And I keep both my jobs on because I don't think performers should ever have one job.
Yes, true. Cool. तो अमूमन ऐसा होता है आर्टिस्ट के साथ, जब भी वो कोई नई चीज़ शुरू कर रहे रहते हैं या तो स्टेज पर जा रहे रहते हैं, तो एक टर्म है स्टेज फियर। क्या आपको स्टेज फियर था? अगर था तो आपने वो कैसे ओवरकम किया? एंड दैट फर्स्ट ओपन माइक ऑफ योर्स, उसका एक्सपीरियंस आपको।
Okay. Of course, everyone has stage fear.
Yeah.
Okay. There are some people who are immune to it, but otherwise everyone suffers. I suffered badly.
Yes.
Now, my first open mic, this comedian who I knew on OkCupid had taken my spot and given it to me. I wrote an essay because everyone thinks that they're very funny in the first draft that they write.
Yeah.
And then they go on stage and they realize that no, they're not. But the thing is that on your first open mic, sometimes the audience just knows that you're nervous and they know that you're trying hard.
Yes.
So they give sympathy laughter. And a lot of people, including me, start believing that we are the chosen ones. You know,
Yes.
that our first open mic was amazing. Second open mic is terrible because nobody has sympathy at that point.
बिल्कुल। बहुत बढ़िया। और मतलब स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी एज ए बिजनेस, गुड बिजनेस, गुड थिंग, मतलब कैसे देखते हैं आप?
So I'm making a decent amount of money to live on with stand-up comedy. But the thing about any performing art is that if this month goes well, you're never too sure if 2 months down the line is still going to go well. So that's why I keep my graphic design job. A, because I've spent so many years building it. And B, because I have that money, I don't have to do mehndi gigs and sangeet gigs.
Yes.
I mean, in the sense, I'm not the right fit for it.
Yeah, you can choose your work.
I can choose my work.
You can choose your place to work.
Yeah.
ठीक है। आर्टिस्ट के साथ आजकल अमूमन ऐसा देखा जा रहा है कि सोशल मीडिया प्रेजेंस जो है वो ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट रहता है। स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस हो, एक्टर्स हो, हर कोई सोशल मीडिया पर अपनी कुछ ना कुछ पोस्ट करता है। लेकिन आपके साथ बात अलग है, आप सोशल मीडिया पर एक राइटर भी मालूम पड़ती हैं। जब आप आपके इंस्टाग्राम पोस्ट पर स्टीरियोटाइप्स ब्रेकिंग करती हैं, आप एक राइटअप्स लिखती हैं, वो सारी चीज़ें करती हैं। तो आपके सोशल मीडिया के बारे में बताएं कि वो कैसे शुरू हो?
Okay. So right now I'm on a tour of India, basically to tell my Twitter following that I am a stand-up comedian. Because everyone knows me as a writer and a tweeter.
Yes.
So I've unfortunately gone the other way around. People don't know I'm a stand-up. My own following doesn't know. The loyal following. So I'm not the kind of person who can, make these influencer reels very well. Um, I express myself through my writing, but that is unfortunately not the right fit for social media, especially Instagram,
Yeah.
because Instagram is such a visual medium. So this entire tour is just to tell my followers that I am a comedian. Please come for my shows.
बिल्कुल. Uh, every comedian has a heckling story. Do you have one?
I've got lots.
Tell us about it.
Okay, now every comedian has a heckling story. Male comedian, female comedians get heckled in two ways.
Oh, yes.
One, normal heckling, people drunk in bars be like, "How can you say something like that?" And I've had to run out through the kitchen of a bar once. I made some political joke, and someone didn't like it. Okay, that is normal.
Lol Rakshak for a reason.
Yes, logic for a reason. But female comedians also have to deal with people who do not want to see a woman telling them anything on stage, especially an English speaking woman. Oh my God. So I was once performing for this Senior Citizens Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was performing there, and this gentleman in the front row was like, he came onto my stage and he said, firstly, why are you wearing a dress? And not that it matters, but it wasn't even a short dress. It was a knee-length dress. So I didn't have an answer to that. Why am I wearing a dress? And then he was like, can't you say something positive? Can't you sing the national anthem? So, no, there's a little judgment
Okay.
where women are concerned, which will come up.
बिल्कुल. और जैसे हैकलिंग स्टोरी आपने करी तो डज स्टैंड अप कॉमिक हैज टू थिंक अ लॉट व्हाइल राइटिंग दैट सेट. जैसे कि देख रहे हैं कि मतलब वी लिव इन दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ सोसाइटी जहाँ पर लोगों को अपनी इकोनॉमिकल क्राइसिस से ज़्यादा अपने रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट और अपने पॉलिटिकल बिलीव्स पर ज़्यादा दुख होता है. तो कभी ऐसा होता है कि आप आपका सेट लिख रहे रहते तो क्या आप इन बातों को ध्यान रखती हैं?
Yes. It also depends on where I'm performing.
Yeah.
And it also depends on whether I'm going to release that on YouTube. Very important fact.
Yes.
Okay, so you can get away with a lot in private gatherings. But one thing I've realized, I've even been to the Edinburgh Fringe last year. It was COVID time, so it was online. I realized that sometimes you just sell yourself and your beliefs out to get a cheap laugh. That is something it matters to me more than offending.
Yeah. As an artist.
As an artist.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got a horrible review at Edinburgh Fringe. They called it cringy, and in this one show.
Okay.
And at that time, I was like, "How could they do this? Must be racism or something like that." But then I sat and looked at my own writing, and I was like, "Nay, I've sold out in this set. What they're saying is right." So for me, being true to myself as an artist, regardless of the response that I'm expecting, is more important than being non-offensive. I'm not offensive for the sake of being offensive, but I would rather be true to myself.
Do you think Indian stand-up comics are sellouts? मतलब they are compromising just because of mass, just because of threats? Are they compromising?
Okay, this is a question you should ask me, we reached out to some unknown comics and then... Okay, of course everyone sells out. It just depends on what degree you sell out. There is no point in going to jail. I mean, if you know that the audience is a certain way, there's no point in taking your truth at all costs there. What are you proving? Everyone sells out to a certain degree. Sometimes when I go to corporate shows, in corporate shows there are so many restrictions.
Yeah.
You end up trying to be what the audience wants you to be. So that is also a sellout. Degrees of sellout.
Do you guys have a certain community? Because what we see, I have seen producer community in Hindi film industry. If certain producer is facing some sort of legal problems regarding his film, his or her film, entire producer fraternity is standing with them. Does stand-up comic have that sort of community?
Of course we do. Of course we do. I mean, there have been instances,
Yeah, Munawar Farooqi
yes.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, the entire community does. We have a WhatsApp group, we sit and discuss it there. So, yes, a lot of help, a lot of leads came through from there.
Okay. The senior stand-up comedians also.
Yeah.
So nice. Bilkul. Who makes you laugh? If I want to ask you your favorite stand-up comedian.
Many. Okay, I like Dave Chappelle. I know it's a little controversial choice. I really like Dave Chappelle. Maybe I may not like everything that he says.
Yeah, you are saying this in front of a Kevin Hart fan. So I can understand that. Bilkul. Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, many people, Jesselnick, Mike Birbiglia, tons of people.
Do you think stand-up comedy culture has finally arrived in India? Because there are lots of stand-up comedy scene happening, or still we have a road front ahead of us.
Okay. So in India, stand-up comedy it's emerged from the mimicry point of view. Yeah, we're now talking about stand-up, but a lot of stand-up here is deprecating humor. Like, I'm so ugly, I'm so fat, I'm so tall. The audience loves it.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes, of course, everyone does it to get the laugh. I don't know how we can judge stand-up. Okay, now, like, as a performer, I've also judged people like, how is he viral? What is so great about his jokes? But there are people who are there liking it. So you can't judge what the stand-up scene should like.
Yeah.
Currently, it likes a certain vibe, and that is what we have to accept.
Okay. So just like cinema, stand-up also has that mass culture.
Yes, it
Mass
does.
culture, classic culture. Just like Bahubali will
Yes.
be and Tumbad will fall
Got
behind.
it, got it, yes.
ठीक है, बहुत ही अच्छी बातचीत रही आपसे. अब आप हमें आपके बारे में बताएं, आपके शो के बारे में बताएं, जो आप रही हैं. आप इंडिया टूर पर हैं, आपने जैसे कि बताया.
Okay.
उसके बारे में बताएं. आप कहाँ परफॉर्म करने वाली हैं? गुजरात पर हैं आप अभी तो फिलहाल.
Yes. So tonight, that is the 20th, I'm performing at Natran Studio in Ahmedabad at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, I'm in Vadodara. I'm at the View Gallery, also at 8 p.m. And day after, that's Sunday, I'm in Surat at Ghalib and Company at 8 p.m.
મારા બરોડા અને સુરતના મિત્રોને મારા તરફથી એક નિવેદન રહેશે કે મળો આમનું જે શો જે થવાનું છે એ જુઓ અને મજા માણો. ગેરંટી, મારી ગેરંટી. સો ગુજરાતી में
I understood. I speak fluent Gujarati, by that. I don't speak, I understand.
cool. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके. वाइब्स ऑफ इंडिया में आने के लिए शुक्रिया आपका. आपने आपका टाइम दिया. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर शो. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर.
Thank you so much.